How's it going, everyone? Happy Friday. Oh, what a week. What a past couple weeks. A lot of exciting things happening in the ecosystem. If you are interested in still keeping up with the place where we hopefully have the mostest of the gains, the decentralization, we got a lot of amazing stuff looking forward. So I'm excited. I'm glad you're all still here. If you're watching, you're still here, it sounds like. Hope you got a big sweet bag that's going to appreciate and value about 10,000x or so. That's what we're looking forward to. But I'm excited to talk about. I haven't did an RH stream for a while. I think the last one I did, what was it? Maybe the RH is the greatest man in crypto or something. That one. That was actually, yeah, that one. I talked about some interesting stuff in that one. This one, I want to. I don't know. I feel like I've seen plenty of commentary, plenty of takes around the ecosystem, and just seen plenty of people to just seem to have just given up, stopped trusting in RH. And there's all this, I feel like I've heard every single angle of every argument. Oh, I don't want to trust RH. I want, this is supposed to be decentralized, or, the founder should be doing better, or, how are we going to go forward? Like we need leadership, or, just trust in the code, the code and everything is supposed to be, the price will follow. I've seen, I've seen pretty much, I would say at least 90% of most arguments, for both sides, right? For why you like Richard and why you don't like Richard, why this ecosystem sucks, why this ecosystem is great. So I think, I hope with this stream, I want to tie a few things together. And there's plenty of confusion too about some of these pieces. Maybe it's just the framing. Maybe it's just going to give you a better way of looking at the thing in the whole. And at the end of it, if you're like, you know what, I don't like it, I'm out. I don't like this. This is not what I signed up for. This is not what I want to sign up for. Whatever. Totally get it. Totally get it. So hope to bring some nuance and stuff to this. I've been around for a while, been around much longer than I've been streaming. Following Richard since 2017, whole deal. Man, it's been a long time. And I think I've got a lot of great things from him, from this ecosystem. And one of the reasons that I'm still here, I know, surprise, like a lot of other people who refuse to lose as well, and still want to give back and make sure this place is the greatest place it can be, no matter the era or the time we're going through, or the market conditions, or whatever. I think there's just so many things that is great about this place that it's just hard to see when it isn't reflected in, you've guessed it, the price. So I think the one thing, I get put your questions. If you have questions, comments, and stuff, put them in there. I'll get to a few of them as I can. But I want to start with, there's one thing that separates Hex and PulseChain and all that from everything else in crypto, and that is Richard Hart. When the price goes up, it's a good thing. Oh, look, it's great. I'm so glad the guy's great. The guy's great. All these great things are happening. He's able to get all these interviews and streams and onboard and market and do all these things, all the fundamentals, all that stuff. When the price goes down, everyone's like, is it such a good idea? Like, do we want to be tied to Richard? Should he do a Satoshi? PulseChain is supposed to survive on its own. Let's, all that stuff. So, and it's just criticism every single way. So that is our greatest strength, and also our biggest source of criticism is Richard. And if you're in this ecosystem, you either have to accept it and embrace it, or you're probably just going to have a bad time. And I hope you have a good time. I hope you're able to figure it out, do whatever you want to do. Like I've said so many times, I wish everyone the best, whether they're in this ecosystem or not. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. Hopefully you don't flood the thing out, on the way out the door, or stay around too, or whatever. But I think having a bag, again, staking is this huge stickiness factor. It helps align interest. It helps people not flood their own bags, even though it doesn't, it's not a silver bullet for that, I guess, as far as like being the thing. to make everyone, promote the ecosystem at all times. But there's so many pieces to this place where, again, to me, it is, I accept that he's part of it, in the thick and the thin, the good and the bad, the struggles and triumphs, all that stuff. And it's so much easier for that. You talk about 2 or 3 years ago, like, what are you talking about? Of course I want Richard around. Of course I want, whatever he's doing, whatever he's working on, I want to be a part of it. And now, literally, I think if you would do a poll, I'm sure people have, saying, if there was another sacrifice phase, from him, a lot of people like, at least they say, I don't know if they, actually wouldn't do it, but I imagine a lot of people would say they wouldn't even participate. And I think that's just from a loss of trust, a loss of belief, and it's not unexplainable. It's totally understandable. It's not, what we want to happen, right? But I don't know. There's all these things I could say, and cliches. Oh, it's not supposed to be easy, and do the hard thing. And there's all these different, motivational pieces we talked about. I've posted before and reposted and said before and all that too. And at the end of the day, I just come back to the fundamentals of, I think, I like Richard. I like his idea. I'm an RHMax for his ideals, not necessarily his products, natural extension of it, yada, yada. And I think like a lot of people, I think he's a winner, and people want to be, I think one thing you would look for in a founder, and again, this is different. This is, everyone's like, oh, Richard should act more like a founder. And you see all these other founders, the Cardano guy and Vitalik, and you got the Tom Lees, Michael Saylor, all these people. They're being public faces, and they're out there promoting the products and doing all these things that we expect them to do. Richard ain't that guy. Again, the expectations, you say it 10 billion times to not have them. And it's just, it is largely ignored or forgotten these days that he doesn't work for you. He doesn't work for me, and I don't work for him. And you don't work for him either. So it's supposed to be this symbiotic, mutual kind of like, just natural, what would you say, emergent kind of beautiful thing where we're a decentralized community, and things just kind of work, whether the price is up or price is down, and the network works and the products work and all that stuff. But it is just very hard for people to accept that he's just not going to do what you want him to do when you want him to do it. And if you believe the whole thing needs him to make it work, I think it's almost like a misunderstanding of the again, what we signed up for. And that isn't to say like we need Richard to pump the ecosystem. We need him to inject SAC funds. We need him to live stream. We need him to do things. He's tried, from what I can see and what I understand, to set it up in a way where we don't need him, where we can grow organically on our own. Is that harder to do when we've had to go up and down with all these different messes and stuff, and beat the SEC and all those pieces, and through all the FUD and all that? Does it make it easier? No, it doesn't. Is it something that it just makes it impossible for us to ever have glory or ever have success in the ecosystem or ever onboard? No. We keep onboarding people. Like, we have been onboarding with the marketing stuff. We have new influencers through the marketing. Well, at least when I see Kim Tran everywhere right now. There's lots of people who don't Google and be like, oh, well, I care so much about the founder. Like, what do you say about lots of people who use Coinbase but don't know the bald guy who runs it, Brian Armstrong? I think that's very true. And I think it's very hard to see through some of the pieces that are, I guess I would say it's easy to think some things matter more than they actually do, when they actually matter. So does a lot of that stuff matter when you don't have a up and to the right price chart or ecosystem, or volume or wallet number and all that stuff. Yeah, sure, you could probably make a compelling case for that. How much does it matter when all those metrics take off and when you can't onboard people fast enough? Again, hopefully at the lows, hopefully less at the lows than at the highs and all that stuff. So we can give everyone the chance to, make this beautiful, I don't want to call it money. What can I call it? Freedom dollars, time dollars, like all the things you want to buy with money, right? So I think there's a lot of things that seem like they matter more, and it's easy to get in the negative framing. And it's not, I don't know, it's not. One perspective is, just, take just look at the state of things and just be like, yeah, this place is a mess. And, we're never going to do any better. And, why we're just like all waiting around the dark, waiting for somebody to like come in with a bunch of money and buy a bunch of coins. I don't think I really do subscribe to the plan theory. And I know, like when I talk about that too, it's not a plan theory as in I'm waiting for, some big whale to step in and save us type of thing. I think the much more interesting plan theory is the one where there are calculated moves being made that benefit the ecosystem. And especially on the side of Richard, where, you don't get to be a billionaire genius founder guy without being strategic and calculating and having the trophy of trophies for delayed gratification and all these other things. So there's a lot of things we don't know. And so then what do we do? Start to speculate. Why wouldn't there be, this a bill? I don't really like calling it a plan, because plan sounds like it sounds like, a reliance, right? I want to make sure that me and everyone else don't turn into, I don't even want to say it that way, because it's like, it's not my job to save all these people. It's not my job to tell you what to think. I'm trying to bring out the way I think about things. And I don't want it to come off as we're waiting for all this stuff to happen. And I know everyone's like, oh, look, he's trying not to say it. He's trying not to say that we're all relying on Rich for all this stuff. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to talk about it in a way that I know that there is this, that our founder needs to be strategic with a lot of the crap that he's had to deal with. And I'll get into that in a minute too. And it's very hard to balance those two things. It's very hard to be like, okay, public person, talk to us all the time. Recently did the AMA like thing, which was pretty cool. Got to hear a lot of the results, very interesting stuff there. It's very hard to balance that with not, this decentralized network, some of the wallets and players and stuff, supply may be centralized in all those ways. Again, that's just things that come along with it. It's very hard to balance those things with and avoiding setting that ecosystem up to just be like, I can't wait till the SAC funds come in, because I don't want to be sitting around waiting for that either. I don't think that is their only hope. I do think it's very exciting and very amazing that can happen. I do believe there'll be a lot of marketing happening to bring in a lot of organic growth. I do believe there'll be plenty of whales who will see it in their best interest to buy before the price goes up. I do believe there'll be a lot of fuel on the fire, and that the money can come from SAC funds, can come from anywhere else in a very strategic way. But that doesn't need to turn us in the ecosystem of waiting in the dark for the founder to do something to like help us out type of thing, or a founder to come in. Like I do not believe the only reason PulseChain works is if Richard goes and just like, he just needs to like continuously pump it all the time and all that stuff. I don't think that's That's certainly not DeFi. Like that's not like why I'm here. Other than price go up, I love decentralization. I love the ability for, every time I go to the bank or want to otherwise do transactions for stuff, I'm appalled at like all the centralized third party. Oh no, it's your money, but it's not really your money because we got to tell you how you can use it, when you can take it, and how much, and all this stuff. It's ridiculous. So I do think we're solving a huge problem here, not just in crypto, but prioritizing what PulseChain is about with privacy, with decentralization, fundamentals, all that stuff. I know you forgot about fundamentals. They're not lost. Maybe you've forgotten, but they're not lost. So I think you can talked about this the other day when we were talking about the SAC fund stuff. I think at least I can be both excited about the prospect of getting some fuel in the fire once we do take off from any kind of well in the ecosystem or founder or whatever, and keep and hold the principles true that this place is meant to be this mecca for DeFi. It's meant to be this place, this mecca for putting your money, letting it work for you. All the delayed gratification, it doesn't have to be about gambling. It doesn't have to be about, meme coins. It doesn't have to be about all these things. It can have those things, but the principles of self-sovereignty, freedom, like all the stuff we talked about a million times, all that stuff can happen. You can have both. You don't have to choose. It can be both of those things. We can have both of those things. So anyways, let me take a break for a sec. And I'll get to chat in a second too. All right, Stu Greer's got one here. Let me get this one. Let's be honest. We told our friends and family about PulseChain and we got wrecked. That's okay. The underdog will win. Yeah, I mean, wrecked is very time-based and action-based, right? If friends and family bought in, I assume, yes, I'll just frame this for sacrifice. Again, the sacrifice price is down from that. Again, I don't want to talk about sacrifice anymore. None of the new people care about that. Only people who got in care about that. A lot of people care about it. I get it. But at the same time, I think moving on from that is I could totally see it in the future. That was just the thing that happened in the history book that was like, wow, I had to wait a long time for the price to go up. Anyways, let me answer or speak to this comment. Selling at the lows sucks. So I think best thing I can say to this one is, yeah, there's plenty of people who probably got their friends and family in on the products at a price that wasn't the all-time low, and they're still waiting for price appreciation. But again, this definitely feels, back just on the plan theory real quick too. I don't know. It does feel like a shakeout in a way. Like I feel like I was thinking about this recently too. It's almost as if the things lined up to make it a shakeout. Like the SEC stuff. Well, okay, everyone's got to wait longer. Interpol stuff. All right, everyone's got to wait longer. Not being able to speak publicly or live stream stuff, assumingly because of that, created time, created the opportunity for such a shakeout to happen. And we'll see how that works out in the future. I know there's plenty of, I don't like to see people get frustrated and leave and all that stuff. But at the same time, I do like to see people who stay and, if they're meant to have if they're meant to stick around, they do. And I like to see them win too. So there's that. And yeah, to your last point, underdog will win. I think I don't want to call us an underdog. What's the word? Are we the contrarian play? Are we the ones that are right, but nobody can see it yet, but we know? Maybe that's it. The ecosystem method. That sounds like a very bullish statement. I like it. Safest max into fire. Oh, I'm not, like I said, I'm not here to save people. That's not my thing is not saving people. I hope people, I hope if my efforts turn into people sticking around long enough to see mad gains, I'd be satisfied with that. But that's not my goal. My goal is for no one to have expectations of me. But boy, along the way, I hope I do some. I hope plenty of people benefit from my sticking around. I'll say that. All right, certain stuff for what's ahead. Me too. It is hard. I don't know. I think some people find it hard to be excited, and it literally is just waiting a long time and not having. Well, I guess like needing to see progress on a time scale that, like an arbitrary time scale. I guess. I don't know. I haven't lost faith. Of course. 5555. How's it going, DJ Next guy? All right. That was weird. We're back. Sorry about that. I don't usually have technical difficulties, but that one happened. You guys hear me okay? Let me know. Oh, at least it didn't interrupt conversation. It's good. You're literally a technician. Johnny says. I fixed it, I guess. Yeah. Awesome. Sorry, I get to one more question. Shake the get rich quick syndrome. Bro, base comment, Rocket Mob. Base comment. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's go. That is a wise statement. Wise statement indeed. All right. Let me get sorry. I only get to a few questions and comments. Appreciate you all though, but I got to move on to I wanted to talk about Yeah, I was doing some research around the whole red notice thing and stuff too. And again, this could be, we could any day, I'm not expecting anything, but any day we could be like, oh yeah, that's just, it's been resolved, you know, they've been settled, or it's just went away in some way. I mean, all that stuff I've talked about before, how it could just go. It's okay. Let me go through the timeline real quick. Hex comes out December 2nd, 2019. A lot of just, oh gosh, go watch some Richard streams from 2020. Just ups and downs, and like the price and just the community. And then we hit this like mega bull run 2020, 2021. Richard's just everywhere. Average marketing stuff happens. He actually talked about that recently too, which I thought was interesting. And then we're waiting for PulseChain forever. You know, 2 more weeks. Is that where 2 more weeks came from? I almost forgot like what the origin of 2 more weeks was. I think it was just 2 more weeks. I think that was just PulseChain, us waiting, because it was like, oh, either 2 more weeks or 2 more months and all that. It's been so long, I'm like forgetting these references, the origins of them. And then we get to 2023, May 12th, PulseChain released. Finally goes live. I was actually live when it happened. There's a clip about it. It's just amazing just to be live and streaming with a bunch of people too. There's like 5 or 6 people on stream. And then High 6 about to come out. I think High 6 came out like, did it come out? I know August 1st or something, July 30th, maybe. Around that time period is when the SEC stuff got filed. And the High 6 came out like the same week, or plus or minus a week, I want to say. And then I see, yeah, Hex was 4 more weeks. Yeah. I remember it was a lot of waiting on Hex too. And then SEC came out. We finally heard Richard talk about it. Maybe we got a video or something. It was maybe a Christmas video around then, or the next one. And the whole time, like, we're going to win. You know, a lot of people think he's going to settle. I'm like, no, he's not going to settle. You know, got that much firepower, keep going with it. And what's there to settle? Like, you know, I think we got a good shot to win. Comes out. Judge dismisses the whole thing. No merit, no jurisdiction, all that good stuff. And then I don't even know when Interpol happened. It was like right before then or after. I'm not sure, actually, somewhere through there. Interpol red notice happened. And Interpol red notice, by the way, there's some nuance to that, where it, like, that's just when a country is like, they're like, what, it's like a request for law enforcement to, I don't think it's to arrest, it's just like to detain or something for another country, you know, something around that. It's not an actual arrest warrant. Red notice isn't an arrest warrant. It's not like he's just like most wanted fugitive, like on the run, all this stuff. It's just, from my understanding, it's just a request to law enforcement that another country does want him for something, which again is just total crap. Tax evasion. Yeah, I feel like any billionaire in the world, you know, it's so easy to be like, oh, tax evasion. Yeah, we got a lot of money. That's a tax. By the way, notice none of that stuff happened until he got really like well known and successful, and you know, all that stuff happened back when Richard was getting, you know, 5 retweets on his stuff and 10 likes. You know, nobody was like, no, all this stuff wasn't happening. It's only when he became like really powerful and really like this influential figure in crypto, all this stuff started happening. Anyways, red notice stuff. If you're out there thinking like, oh, why is he not just like, why just turn himself in right now and get it over with? Why would that be a good strategy at all? I feel like nobody is. If I had Herbs here right now, I'd probably talk to him about it. I think it's way more, you know, I would bet there's a strategy in being like, you know what, let's settle this thing first before, you know, I'm going to come talk to you all, because why would you want to like be under their supervision? Probably, I mean, might even be like the Telegram guy. Is he still in France, by the way? Is what's his name? Vlad? Telegram CEO still in France, or did he ever get to go back to Dubai? It's kind of like I get, it's probably a more interesting way to look at it is be like, yeah, being held and stuff. It's just like you just lose your negotiating power, right? Like, why would you just want to go be detained by whatever country based on this stuff? Like, why wouldn't you want to be like, okay, once my lawyers negotiate the settlement or get this cleared up, whatever, then if you still need me to come in, I will. Like, why wouldn't that be way more? That's what I'm saying. I don't think many people, it's easy to come up with an opinion when you're just kind of looking at this as like a regular person. You got to look at it from, if you want to really understand these, high stakes games and like, or these, the way billionaires stuff are. I'm not claiming to be a billionaire and understand all these people either. But I really do think it takes this like next level thinking of, you can't just be like, oh, face value, oh, just, all this stuff. It's like, no, he's strategy. Why wouldn't you do the thing that's most strategic, no matter if it means like waiting a while before, come in and all that stuff. So I think it's because once you're there, it's like, okay, well, do you want to leave? Well, then make the payment, do the settlement or whatever. Versus, well, I'm just kicking it. I'm kicking it until you guys want to play ball, type of thing. So I think that's way more strategic. So I would say I try to do this. If there's something I don't understand or I have doubts about, I think Richard's probably, it's probably a higher IQ than pretty much anyone else around. And I'm going to defer to his judgment on all that stuff. Doesn't mean he's always right, but it means he probably knows things, better ways of doing things than a lot of people. So I'm not going to be like, no, I'm right. I'm right. He should do this thing. Like, why would I be right? Why would anyone be right? Like, versus the guy who's been there, done that type of thing. So I would just keep that in mind too. If you're like, why is this thing over? Why isn't, all this stuff? It's like, well, it's probably a huge bunch of strategy. I'm going to go with that. That sounds better. I'm not going to go over all the ways it can be dismissed. I have a whole tweet on that and stuff too. I think I did a stream. Yeah, I did a stream talking about it. Just type in RHMax, Interpol, Richard, whatever. Yeah, you can see that. What else? Yeah, crypto markets isn't all-time highs right now either. So still waiting on that. I think too, oh, by the way, yeah, let me get to something really interesting, I think. So all the Tornado Cash stuff that happened recently, I think, the first reaction, the first, I guess, joke or jab is like, all right, there goes Richard with all the money. It's exit scan time, as if, the whole imaginary horrible would happen. That'd be crazy. But it doesn't make, so again, that's what I'm talking about, thinking deeply about things versus at face value and like negative framing too. The reason nobody actually believed this is going to happen, again, totally, you run stuff through a privacy protocol to get rid of the tracks of it. The money could be anywhere, right? Anyone could use it, go buy a yacht, or I don't know what you would buy. What would you buy for $600 million? Like better question. What would Richard buy that doesn't already have or need with that kind of money? It don't make any sense. Like, why would he even buy anything? What could he buy that he couldn't have already bought before? Right? Like, I think he has way more than that. If he's a rumored billionaire, $600 million is, again, you got to think deeper on these things. So what would be his whole thing, right, is glory, right? I believe, I'll say this for the 10,000th time too. I think crypto is just a means to an end. He wants to be successful there, mint millionaires, make people rich in the crypto, in the money world, the crypto world, all this stuff. And then go on to start the Heart Foundation or start whatever. I'm sure it'll have a great name if it ever, materializes. Go work on longevity research and save people's lives, all that stuff. I think I think that's the future. I think it's what he wants to do. If he ever steps away from PulseChain Hex after glory happens there, then I think that's what he would work on and be funding and all that stuff too. So all the money, all the $600 million, all the ETH, where'd the ETH go? Yeah, privacy protocol. So why would it go? Like nothing fits. Nothing would make sense. The only thing, I can say this. The only thing that makes sense is that would go in some way at some time that we would have no expectations of, that it would go to benefit PulseChain. Nothing else makes sense. There's not one single other argument that would make sense for where that money would go. Chat, if you have one, put it in the chat. I can't think of one rational thing. I can think of plenty of ways he could use it to help PulseChain. Of course, everyone's like, pump it, pump it. Other than that, marketing. If he has to settle something with with Finland, all that stuff, with tax stuff, even though I think it's probably all a sham, but sometimes it's just like it's easier to, whatever, pay the fine and go on. That's different than SEC. SEC stuff, I'm like, okay, I'm glad we won that one, not settle on stuff. But Finland, whatever, like nobody hears about tax stuff like that. It's not going to be like the hugest win ever. I mean, if we do have like a complete utter victory on that, like it's going to be cool, but it's not like SEC is the thing that we beat. So there's plenty of marketing. Again, putting in some, maybe there's some, I talked about this with Fast the other day with the stream. Maybe there's some new type of DeFi tech that is extremely, has extreme fundamentals where it's like, all right, you take that $600 million and you put it into this protocol and it just perpetually just pumps or it keeps it afloat, or, whatever. It's like something good for whatever chain's deployed on top of thing, or it solicits all this different participation, or solicits all these new onboards of people, and they'll be flocking from Ethereum and Solana and Cardano. They're flocking all to PulseChain because we have this new protocol that's just like pretty awesome type thing. Now you could say, that's, well, I don't know, because Hex was new, right? That was all new stuff. Maybe it is time to go back to new. Maybe the next product is something new. I talked about Super App and all that stuff too. Hex was new, PulseChain fork, PulseX fork, with some cool improvements and stuff too. But maybe it's time to do some new amazing DeFi privacy thing. So maybe if there is something that needs a lot of funding like that, we'll see that with it too. It could just sit there and just be this, again, it could just become a treasury of like, all right, it's just going to fund whatever you can imagine of. It could just fund grants, or could fund marketing, or could just sit there on chain and support other protocols to make everything better. Like there's all these things you could think of that have nothing to do with benefiting Richard directly, right? Like, of course, he benefits his reputation, his, furthers glory, all these different, personal ambitions, and whether you think he cares about you or not, that's up to you. I think he'd be much happier helping make new millionaires and stuff than he would be obviously exit scamming or not doing anything to contribute towards that. He'd be much happier doing that, I don't think. What do you say? What was a famous line in Highest to Six? I want people, what do you say? I want to be loved. That's what it was. I want to be loved. So maybe we'll go full circle. Maybe he goes back to, maybe he does something amazing with the money or without the money, and that happens. But to think that he would do anything other than things that would benefit the ecosystem, when again, we have no expectations, but the origin of the money did come from people who wanted points to get those tokens, for PulseChain. So I know it's not an ICO, but the idea that a lot of people had into it, which is everyone has their own idea, was this would be, contributing to the development or founding of the ecosystem or whatever. So would it be funny if all that SAC funds went into doing that in a way that is extremely strategic and that is well planned, and nobody has any control over except the person who should have control, and the person, organization, whatever, that can do the best with it. So yeah, that's a few points I want to hit there. Let me go to chat. So higher IQ means number go up. I'm not sure what that was referenced to. I can't. It was something I said, but I would say, I don't know. I hope a lot of people with high IQs that stick around and buy the lows and are able to sell the highs, see number go up. How about that? What's up, Steve? How's it going, man? Good to see you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You are a perfect representation of RHMax. Thank you. That is a compliment. I don't try to be. I don't want people to expect anything of me. I have no obligations to anyone, and I want to keep it that way. That's what I like. But I'm hoping I'm able to make a positive contribution. So very kind of you. Thank you. And yeah. Bro, I love your artwork YouTube stream. Oh yeah. You like I do spend some time on the thumbnails. I'm like, God, I don't want to spend time on thumbnails, but I was trying to spend time on thumbnails. A Wild SJ is here as well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well out there. Putting in the work. 2 more weeks to launch Pulse. Okay, gotcha. I thought it was. Yeah, there's this really fun. I can't find it. Was it taken down? Do you all know the video? It was so funny. The last, oh man, I want to go find it now. Let me see if I can find it. It was, he went through the whole thing of like, it was kind of like, it was, you guys know the Hex Rewind videos? They were really good. See if I can find it. All right, I'm pulled the browser because I want to find this and remind everyone. Everyone like forgot about the Hex Rewinds. They were really good. Oh, hopefully no more technical difficulties. Come on. Very annoying. Come on. Okay. Hex Rewind. I don't know if it's in the same series or by the same guy. So if y'all haven't seen these, they're super good. They'll get you pumped up. You watch one of these, you're going to get pumped up. Like, yeah, watch one of these. There's 3, 21, 22, and 23. Let's see. Did I get that right? 20, 21, 23. Gotta be 22 somewhere. Oh, shoot, not 33. No. Hold on. Is it? Oh, did Mark? Did nobody? Oh, that's the Hex Lifestyle. Oh, I'm not finding it. I don't know. Anyways, man, what was the one? 2 more weeks, Richard Hart. I don't even know how to find it because I don't know what the name is, but it's like 2 weeks later, and it's like 2 more months. The devs are close. The devs are close. Like it's hilarious. I don't know how to search for it though. Why am I typing 2 more minutes? 2 more weeks, Richard Hart. Did it autocorrect that? What are you doing? 2 more weeks, Richard Hart. There. Oh yeah, that is a pretty cool thumb. Actually, when I look at them, like I do like that. Man, what is? How can I find this? By the way, it's a really good video about Pumponomics. It makes some good stuff. Oh man, where is it? I don't even know how to search for it. It was just like the whole compilation of him saying 2 more weeks, 2 more months. I have terrible estimates, all that stuff. I don't know. Anyone, let me know if you know. Let me know if it's if you remember. So we were so down from stack price over 4 years ago. All right, seems. By the way, sacrifice, man, has it been 4 years? Yeah, I guess it has been around 4 years. So the sacrifice, I just only clip the timeline because it's hear people say we've been down for 4 years, all that stuff. The Hex top was around, about 4 years ago. Sacrifice phase where PulseChain started around 4 years ago, and PulseX right after that. PulseChain didn't launch until it's only been 2 years. a little over 2 years. And it's not like Hex and PulseChain has stayed at all-time lows the entire time. And it's not like there have been other opportunities or just, I don't know. I guess I would say other opportunities other than holding cores. I mean, there's all these, again, do your own research, all these advanced strategies, LP, staking. There's all these ways to like, but it's, yeah, the price has not did a lot of X's. I will agree. Anyways, I just want to see 4 years. It's just, I know that you're not even saying that here at Only Black, but it's not as, anyways, RH seems to blame us now. What do we do as a community? Can we get on a sex? I don't think that's a good, I mean, it's a good statement. Like, I don't take him as blaming us. I think he definitely says stuff sometimes, and I'm like, just kind of, I shake my head a little bit of like, why, who is that? How's that helpful? But I think he says things in a way that's just very, like he has this one train of thought. This is what I think happens. He has this very specific train of thought, and then he'll say it. And it's, for all of us, we like generally, like, at least for me, I'm like, I'll look at it and be like, oh, I'll take it very generally. Like, sometimes he'll say stuff about these days, especially, I don't even know what he's referencing. I'm like, what is that even? What did he say about, I think what did he at CZ the other day about Ethereum? And he said something. I was like, what does that mean? And then I saw the CZ, I saw some CZ post maybe after that. And I was like, oh, that's what it means. It's like, but like, I think he did, like, whatever he's thinking in the moment, he'll say it. And it doesn't generally apply to all these things, or it may be very specific to what he's thinking about. And so it gets easy to be misinterpreted. Anyways, I don't think he's blaming us. I think that what he gets frustrated with, again, I speculate, is that he gets frustrated with the impatience and what does he say all the time? The incessant, the cry fagging, like all that stuff. I think that's what he gets frustrated with. But yeah, I don't, when he's talking about it and telling people not to do it more, is like, is it helpful? Who knows? But I don't take it as him blaming us. It's not like, I don't think it is like him blaming us for the price go down. But funny enough, I guess you could always make technically, who is pressing the sell button? I know it may not be you or me, but it is like, funny enough, it is like, I guess you could make the case that the impatient people are pressing the sell button, which makes the price go down. I know that's not helpful. I know it's not what what anyone wants Richard to talk about. But anyways, I'm just giving you like what I think about this. What can we do as a community? That's a great question. I think the 3 most helpful things, 3 or 4. I'll give you 3 or 4 helpful things. 1, it's not to FUD your own bags. Not for us to FUD our own bags. I'll speak for like what the community can do. You're not. I'm not saying you FUD your own bags here either. You're making a great question and comment like that I might be able to riff on well. So I appreciate it. So for the community not to FUD their own bags. So that's 1. Another one would be doing marketing or helping contribute, or again, volunteering for the mega marketing thing that's happening. I think there's opportunities there. I think are amazing. And I really appreciate everyone putting the time and effort into that. Great way to market. I think hopefully we'll see a lot of like major gains from that. 3, building products. And again, it's not like I'm not going to tell you that going and launching a new meme coin in the hopes that we're going to attract other people or whatever is going to bring a lot of people in, but some people think that's effective. For me, I like DeFi. I like really interesting tokenomics. I like things built on the core coins. So I think like just building stuff in general, the community, every time I see a new product built, I've been really like all the stuff I've seen built this year. They keep inspiring me. I'm like, wow, we have like, people are still building. Like there's plenty of people who still believe. Like they know Richard's doing the best with what he's got right now. They still trust him. They still believe in him. And they still believe in this ecosystem. And they want to win. So they keep building. if that's not inspiring, like you just maybe just not looking for inspiration. Like that's what I would say. Like if no one sees that as like, wow, that's actually cool. There's still people around that aren't just capitulating all the time. Like that's pretty cool. So anyway, that's a few things as a community. Or I would say, man, I don't think just going and like paying less attention to stuff. I know it's hard for, it's hard for me and creators and stuff to do because I want to still, participate and create content and, do the things I like to do there. But if you're just an investor and, you don't have a brand or you're not like pumping out videos or content or whatever, and if you're not like, and you're not interested in ever doing that, but you just want to check in every once in a while, I think honestly staying off of social media and just like, sometimes like the people who could just go forget about crypto for a while, like that seems refreshing in a way as well. So I would say, yeah, I think taking a break is super good. I don't fault anyone for taking a break. I hope they come back refreshed, awesome, and ready to help push us forward. But yeah, I think that's, anyways, a few things. And then can we get on a CX centralized exchange? OKX, there was an article on OKX, which the only centralized exchange, correct me if I'm wrong, the only centralized exchange to list PulseChain when we launch and then delist us a month or so after that. I don't know, maybe on SEC stuff, I can't remember. There was an article that I posted, I just came across, I was just looking at like Richard Hart News or something. And I saw, oh, the OKX wrote a whole really nice article. So an exchange, there is an article, a positive article about our ecosystem on an exchange website. What does that mean? I don't know, but that'd be cool if we started seeing some inroads there. As I've said before, all the people who we want to talk about us, all the big influencers, all the exchanges we want to list us, I think it'll be much easier for them to do so. They'll be much more aligned to do so when we start popping off. Right now, there's no reason. Why would anyone who is motivated outside of our community to go out of their way and start saying nice things about PulseChain and Hex and Richard Hart? Who is motivated to do that? One thing that motivates people a lot, especially in this industry, many of them are motivated by what do they have to gain from it? Can they gain followers? Well, we definitely have lots of followers they could gain if they say nice things, but probably more than what they value more than that a lot of times, you could speculate, is money. How can they make more money? Can they buy a bag lower, shill it, get people to buy it, and sell it higher? Now, you may not agree with that strategy, may not be the best thing in the world, but that certainly is motivating, I would say, for a lot of people in this industry and a lot of exchanges who would like a lot more customers and a lot more customers who would be interested in participating in such ecosystem once they see the green light. Let's call it that, the metaphorical green light. So all the good things happening for PulseChain. Maybe that includes price go up as well. So answer your question, maybe one day, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right. I think that's all I got today. Yeah. What is Richard actually doing to help? I personally think he's doing lots of things to help, but we won't know about them anytime soon, or we'll know about them only when it's time to know about them. So I believe, right? There's plenty of people who believe he's sitting on the couch and just hanging out and, doing whatever. And that's probably what he would want you to know, to not have expectations. But if there's one, 69 D chess thing I'm going to believe in, I believe he wants this place to succeed. And if I believe that, then a lot of things that could come from that a lot of other things that would make sense is he's doing things that will be helpful to most he can. He's doing what he can. Like, again, maybe he's been less able to do things because of all the other stuff he's been fighting and going to overcome. So maybe we'll see a lot more stuff coming forward. But as of now, yeah, I think I'm excited. I'm excited for the future of PulseChain. I'm a long Richard Hart. I'm still long Richard Hart. All right. Would be funny if everyone in crypto went full. Yeah. Yep. Do we have any billionaires that are on streams showing their face too? I was thinking about this the other day, and I just kind of random question, but well, this one kind of led into it. But like, there seem to be a lot of whales, even the ones that we see on Twitter and stuff a lot too, or even do streams sometimes. But we don't, unless like you meet them in person, maybe you don't even. They probably do try to stay more anonymous and stuff too, and for good reason, right? Like you don't want people bothering you, and there's a line between interacting with people and also having a private life and all that. So, hopefully crypto becomes a friendlier place as well. So, all right, everyone, that is all I got for you today. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully, if you're out there seeing criticism and stuff, you're like, oh, that kind of makes sense. You're like, maybe there's more to it that we don't know. I just want to remind you of Richard's mission is glory. And that definitely gives me, it definitely helps me. I don't know, like if I were to think, if his mission were anything else, I'm trying to think if his mission were if I believed his mission was anything else, would there be anything else that would be more compelling, more hopeful, more, no limits than glory? I think it's pretty exciting. I think it's good. I like it. All right, everyone. That's all I got for you today. Thanks for hanging in there. Wish you all the massive gains. Scivive 5555. We are out.
Hey, listen, seriously. Stop what you're doing right now and listen. It's important. People are getting rich right now. Truly rich. And you could be one of them. You need to see how people are becoming millionaires with Hex.com. Hex's launch phase ends on November 19th, and there's still time to get involved. Hex can make you truly wealthy. Go to Hex.com to find out more. That's HEX.com right now.